And just like Sisyphus rolling that boulder up that hill, we're back for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Thursday, the 13th day of December, 2018. I'm Dan Kuntz. Just, 11 more shopping days until Christmas. Don't forget, if you haven't got my present yet, don't forget my general rules of thumb: big and expensive, all right? Big and expensive. Those are the two things you need to know when you're out Christmas shopping for me. And a lot of them, too, obviously. Big haul this year for me. I've been very good. How the heck are you? Good to see you. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCP Live channel. Busy show for today. Lots of things going on. A newscast that's jam full of, well, news to get your day going on this Thursday. We'll have sports. All the usual stuff applies. Also, in the back half of the hour, we're going to re-air the interview that we did with Beth Stipe, the executive director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. It was her very first appearance on this show, and I promised Beth I'd get that interview in a couple of times before the holidays come to an end because it's important stuff. We'll have that interview in the back half of the hour. Another quiet day from the weather department. Mother Nature has given us a bit of a breather. Unbelievable day yesterday. 45 was our afternoon high. Normally we're at 32, so it was a very warm, abnormally warm day yesterday, Wednesday, and these warmer than normal temperatures are going to carry right into the weekend with a little bit of light snow a couple times in the forecast, and not surprisingly, once again, the passes are not very passable, if you pardon the expression. Your pass report coming up in just a minute. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, and as always, the cross cam bats lead off. We have a few more clouds this morning than we did 24 hours ago, and once again, as I mentioned this the last couple of weeks, sunrise isn't until 7:41 this morning, so we're still a ways away from the sun actually bathing the valley, or at least giving us daylight, although we're not going to see a great deal of sunshine today. It's 34 degrees, by the way, outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2 with Megan in control says, let's go see what's happening at Arrondo Rock. That's where the camera is. What dominates your view there is Turtle Rock. That's just behind Rocky Reach Dam. In fact, to the right, you can see Rocky Reach Dam. To the left, you have traffic going up US 97 and Highway 2, and on the right, you have traffic going up US 97A, both of them on their way to the lovely hamlet of Chelan. And way in the background is the Wenatchee Valley proper. Good morning, Turtle Rock. That's a great camera. It's also one of our lower cameras from our Sky-Fi high-speed wireless group, courtesy of Localtel. Camera 3. Again, I don't know until they show them to us. That's Rock Island. That's an obvious one. I can pick that one out without any problems at all. Good morning, Rock Island. Looks like you're going to get a new fire station, a badly needed new fire station out there in Rock Island. Beautiful shot there. You can see the mothballed Alcoa plant in the background. You can see the Wenatchee Heights, and you can see the Rock Island Golf Course. And finally, Billy Goat. Never get tired of that view from Billy Goat, going straight up the Columbia River. Pateros, right smack dab in the middle of your screen. You can see downtown Pateros. You can see the Pateros suburbs. The Methow River flowing into the Columbia. Brewster is in the upper center of your screen, and an incredible view from Billy Goat. That must be a fun place to go to in the wintertime when our Sky-Fi maintenance crews have to go up to these tower locations and check things out. It's got to be fun. Hey, let's hop on the snowmobile. Anyway, great view from Billy Goat on this Thursday morning. 4 minutes after the hour, let's take a look at your forecast from the National Weather Service. We had a quiet day yesterday, another quiet day today. Just a slight chance of some light snow today. I wouldn't bet on it. If we get anything, it's going to be some sprinkles. It'll be this afternoon. Lots of clouds, high of about 44. Again, well above normal. Cloudy tonight, no precipitation expected, 33 for the overnight low. It's 20% chance of rain, almost non-existent on Friday. Again, warm, high near 40 degrees. Friday night, overnight low of about 33. The overnight lows are actually warmer than our afternoon highs are supposed to be for this time of year. Best chance of measurable precipitation is going to come our way on Sunday. We are going to see some rain on Sunday and a high of about 40. It's an active weather pattern that's coming our way for the weekend, but it's relatively mild, and that's going to persist into next week with some light rain in the Wenatchee Valley and some snow in the upper elevation. So you can see there, precipitation all in the form of rain if we get it at all. Best chance Saturday and Sunday with all of those afternoon high temperatures well above normal. Let's take you up to the major mountain passes. And once more, the word of the day is Achu. Look that one up, if you don't mind. Let's take you first, well, first of all, the forecast. That's a live shot of Snoqualmie. Winter storm warning remains in effect until noon today. 3,000 feet is the snow level. So 3,000 feet and above is going to have some heavy snow, another 4, 5, 6 inches of snow expected in the mountain passes right now. On I-90, Snoqualmie Pass, chains are required on all cars unless you have an all-wheel drive. There's snow, slush, and ice on the roadway, and yeah, it's snowing on I-90. Speaking of snow, this is an incredible statistic. Let's take you to Stevens Pass, where chains are required as well. Stevens Pass, they have been getting snow almost non-stop since noon on Tuesday. There was about a 2.5-hour window Tuesday evening when it stopped snowing. Then it started snowing again overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, and it really hasn't stopped. And it's snowing hard. Again, on Stevens, compact snow and ice on the roadway. And chains are required on Stevens Pass, again, unless you have all-wheel drive on your car. Blewett Pass is a little bit easier. It's a traction tire advisory right now on Blewett. Yeah, they're getting snow with snow, slush, and ice on the roadway. Traction tires are advised on US 97. So chains are required on Stevens, chains are required on Snoqualmie, traction tires advised on Blewett Pass. And when you get that much snow in that short of a period of time, obviously avalanche danger is very high up in the Cascades. If you're heading into the backcountry for whatever reason this weekend, the snow is heavy, it's wet, and it is loose, all right? Just a heads up on that. If you're heading into the backcountry, watch out for avalanches, okay? Chains required on Stevens and Snoqualmie. Traction tires advised on Blewett. By the way, it is eventually going to stop snowing on the major mountain passes later on today, actually early evening, and then they get a break. There'll be no snow really at all, maybe a couple of flakes here and there on Friday and Friday night. So if you're traveling over the mountain passes this weekend, you should be okay on Friday and Friday night because the snow is going to taper off to almost nothing, and that's going to get the plows a chance to really get ahead of the game. But another day of heavy snow in the Cascades. That winter storm warning is due to expire, however, at noon today. Let's take a 1-minute break. When we come back, it's your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 10 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
Everything we do is about delivering very high quality care and keeping our patients safe.
We really work as a team here, and so that's really what makes it worthwhile.
I give 100% every day, and I do that because I work for a company that I believe gives 100% back to me.
The bottom line is we genuinely care about our employees.
It is the most incredible place to work, and you will be inspired every day.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shainman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Let us make your dream of home ownership a reality. We're here to guide you through the loan process every step of the way. Check out our convenient online application. Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, your home for loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Nine minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I am Dan Kuntz. Fair skies, 34 degrees outside of our studios. Mostly cloudy, some light rain this afternoon, and a high of 44. Another very mild day in store for the valley. Let's find out what's making headlines this morning. Eastmont High School locked down for about a half an hour yesterday after a student was taken into custody after a social media post threatened a shooting at the school. The post on Twitter said, and I'm quoting now, "I want to shoot up WHS and EHS." You see it right there. Wenatchee High School was not locked down, but there was increased security, said Assistant Superintendent John DeYoung. He said because it was an Eastmont student, they didn't see an immediate threat to Wenatchee High School. Law enforcement was called to Eastmont shortly before 2 o'clock, and by 2:20, the student was in custody and normal scheduling resumed. Sad news to report this morning. Chelan and Douglas County Republicans have lost a key leader with the death of Freddie Simpson. Earlier this week, Simpson's death from cancer was confirmed by her husband, Bruce. In a statement to the Wenatchee World, Freddie Simpson was 68 years old. Simpson had a long and influential political career. She led the Chelan County Republican Central Committee as its chairwoman and as president of the Chelan and Douglas County Republican Women. Simpson also held leadership positions at the state and national GOP party levels. Simpson is survived by her husband, Bruce, and her son, Caleb. Best wishes and sympathies to the Simpson family this morning. Remember these images back in May showing damage to the Wenatchee Police Department, the old Wenatchee Police building there that you see, the new Wenatchee Police Department headquarters, and the damage to those patrol cars? Well, the woman who was arrested for those acts of vandalism sentenced in court this week to a year in prison. Brittany M. Watson pled guilty to second-degree malicious mischief after she smashed the windows at the former and current police stations and then broke the window of a patrol vehicle that was parked in the police garage. Watson's motives are unclear. She reportedly pled guilty after a plea deal with prosecutors. Speaking of news in the courts, a new trial has been ordered in the case of a man who was convicted of murdering his mother's ex-boyfriend. This happened 10 years ago in East Wenatchee. Christopher Martin Owens received a new trial after he successfully appealed his first-degree murder conviction in 2011 based on his claim that his attorney failed to include key evidence. That verdict followed his first trial in 2009 that ended in a hung jury. Owens is accused in the December 23, 2008 shooting death of Richard Tyler. This happened at Owens' mother's home. She had separated from Tyler, but he was killed when he returned home to collect some items. Owens claimed he shot the victim for fear he would harm his mother, who had also filed a restraining order against Tyler. Owens' new trial in Douglas County Superior Court is scheduled to start on January 8th. He's currently in custody on $1 million bail. Traffic on Blewett Pass was blocked for almost 4 hours late Tuesday and early Wednesday after a northbound driver attempted to pass a disabled semi near the summit, lost control, and hit another semi. The driver of the semi that was hit had stopped near the southbound shoulder to help the other trucker whose semi was in the northbound lane. This is according to the Washington State Patrol. 48-year-old John Angus of Seattle, who was driving a 2014 Toyota Cruiser, was cited for driving too fast for conditions. Both his vehicle and the semi, which was driven by 40-year-old Travis Breckenridge of Waterville, had to be towed from the scene. The accident happened about 11:15 on Tuesday night. The Wenatchee Chamber of Commerce heard an update yesterday morning from area politicians on what to expect for the upcoming legislative session. Presenters included Senator Brad Hawkins. He discussed the Wenatchee Valley's transportation needs and a potential gas tax increase to fund them. Representative Mike Steele talked about his role in education and housing issues. And newly elected Representative Keith Gaynor was also on hand, talked about his experience at the County Commission and how he hopes to bring those challenges to the state legislature. He wants to form a better level of cooperation. Stay tuned for full NCW Life Channel and more previews and, of course, full coverage of the upcoming legislative session, which begins January of next year. Confluence Health will be raising the minimum wage it pays its employees to $15 an hour. That starts on January 4th. It'll mean a pay raise for about 450 employees. Those workers currently are paid the state minimum wage of $11.50 an hour, which would have risen to $13 an hour in January. The new wage will be for full-time, part-time, and temporary employees. Confluence Health, which includes Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee and numerous clinics throughout North Central Washington, said it was the right thing to do for their employees. Chief Administrative Officer Jim Wood said, and I'm quoting, "We believe this investment in our people will be successful in both attracting and retaining talented team members." And finally, on this Thursday morning, thanks to the incredible support of local businesses and just local individuals with cash donations, the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive was able to help local kids again this year. Our local kid expert shopper was out and about buying toys for their fellow children. Today, our final kid expert shopper, Natalie.
The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, and today we're at Hooked on Toys. I'm Natalie Clay, and we are going to be shopping for kids that could wake up on Christmas without a tree or presents.
So what are you going to do to help them out?
I'm going to buy them toys so that they can have presents on Christmas.
Awesome. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So flippables are awesome, so let's get a couple of those. But not too much. Just maybe one more. Let's probably get some board games so that the whole family can get something. Ooh, this one. And this one. We have Battleship at our house, and we really like playing it.
Awesome.
And so that other people can have fun.
Oh, nice.
Elf on the Shelf. A girl and a boy.
30.
So that they can have the Christmas magic too.
So what is the Christmas magic in your eyes?
Probably the Santa and all the elves. And I think that would be really cool. Ooh, Squeeze-A-Malls. So, like we were this one smells kind of like a cupcake. And then for boys, they love dinosaurs. I mean, who doesn't love dinosaurs? Those, and maybe we might get like a Jack-in-the-Box for little kids.
All right. All right, I'll go take
I don't like this one because it has a clown. It's creepy. Nope. And Descendants dolls.
What is that?
It's a Disney movie. This is Mal. She's the daughter of Maleficent. And then Darth Vader, the one and only.
Now, how does Darth Vader talk?
Probably a couple mermaids. Like 2 mermaids.
So in the magical kingdom, which has more magic, a unicorn or a mermaid? I gotta know.
A unicorn, definitely.
Why?
Because unicorns, they have horns, and then mermaids, they just are fish. Unicorn puppets? What is this? What's this? I just want to see. The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. The unicorn knows about it. I think that kids will really like the toys.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of kids that won't get toys, and I think that we probably will get enough so that they all can have them.
How does that make you feel?
Really happy.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs toys on Christmas.
Boy, the cute factor is 100 on that one, isn't it? I've known Natalie's parents since Natalie was born, actually even before that. Way to go, JJ and Jessica. That's a good kid you have there. The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive is in its last couple of days. In fact, we're going to be distributing a great many of the toys to the local nonprofits who will then dole them out to those who need it. I think that happens on Saturday or Sunday of this week, so get it done. Head out and about, buy that new unwrapped toy and put it and bring it to our various sponsor locations. Obviously, Les Schwab is the major sponsor. You can drop them off at either Les Schwab locations in Wenatchee or East Wenatchee. Columbia Valley Community Bank, Hooked on Toys, Works, Highlander Golf Course, Columbia Valley Community Health, among our many, many sponsors. Our goal is to help 1,000 kids this year with the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. But I'm kidding you not, you got to get it done because it's almost over. It is 18 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, kennel cameos. Didn't mention that at the top of the hour. And everyone is entitled to my Ignati's opinion and my conversation with Beth Stipe. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Welcome Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's do sports. A couple of local athletes honored by the WIAA as athletes of the week this week. Wenatchee senior bowling captain Jessica Holbrook. She helped her team win the Tower Classic in Tacoma. She averaged a 198. That's pretty good over 3 games. Kashmir sophomore Mason Landeck. That's right, he's just a sophomore. He's the WIAA Player of the Week in basketball. He scored 48, 47, and 29 points in a wins over Chelan, Omak, and Granger last week. Coming up in the prep scoreboard schedule today, there's not a lot going on in girls bowling. Eastmont heads to Sunnyside to take on the Grizzlies. That's this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Couple of games on the prep basketball schedule. Kashmir plays host to Okanagan. The girls play at 5:45. The boys at 7:15. Everybody into the pool at Wenatchee High School. The Panthers hosting Davis and Eisenhower at 4 o'clock in boys swimming and diving. On the mats tonight, Omak is the host team. Okanagan, Chelan, and Cascade come rolling on in. It's a double duel. That starts at 6 o'clock. And finally, the Seahawks. Bad news. They're going to have to play the rest of the season without linebacker Michael Kendricks. Seattle learned following Monday night's victory over Minnesota that Kendricks broke his tibia. He's going to require surgery to fix the bone, and he also suffered a knee injury. That's not very good. Coach Pete Carroll they have placed him on injured reserve.
He needs to get work done on his knee. He got caught in a situation, just got hit on the outside of his knee, and it got him. And in unbelievable fashion, he finished the game. And it was early enough where he fought through it the whole time. And it's just been such a difficult season for Mike. My heart goes out to him. He wants to be part of this thing so badly, but he doesn't get to this time around. We'll look forward to getting him back next time and keep him with us.
The Seahawks picked Kendrick up on waivers after Cleveland released him after he admitted to insider trading, and he served an 8-game suspension from the NFL. He pled guilty to those charges. He faces sentencing, by the way, in January. Meanwhile, Seattle has a short week to turn around and take on the 49ers on the road on Sunday. San Francisco had a nice victory last weekend. They beat Denver. The final was 20-14. According to Carroll, 49ers are playing pretty good football right now.
You could say that it helps that we just played these guys a couple weeks ago, but we do everything exactly like it's a brand new game and start all over again. So in our minds, we just have to kind of hustle along, catch up, and get rolling. Niners played really good last week against Denver. Really played an explosive game early in particular, and controlled the score the whole time. Played really good football. If you look at their numbers too, their numbers are really good across the board. Offense is highly ranked, the defense is highly ranked, and they're good in situations and all kinds of good stuff. And we can see all that. We're going to respect the heck out of that. And it's a big time opportunity for us. It's a championship matchup for us, so we're looking forward to it.
Seahawks and Niners 105 down in Santa Clara, California. By the way, I don't know where it's televised on. Check local listings. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday morning. Let's transition to the obscure holiday. It's always celebrated on December 13th. It is Violin Day. So pick up your Stradivarius. I got a couple of them in case one breaks, and make some music. It's one of the all-time classic instruments, one of the oldest instruments known to mankind. If you play the violin, I salute you because I can't. I tried it once. I play stringed instruments. I play left-handed, even though I'm right-handed. It doesn't make any sense at all. If you don't want to learn how to play a violin, listen to violin music. And the violin's an incredibly versatile instrument. We normally associate violins, of course, with symphony orchestras, but bluegrass music, country music. There are rock and roll bands that had violinists in them and still do. Happy Violin Day, always celebrated on December 13th because we don't know. Now let's do Today in History. That photo that you see is the very first National Guard. December 13th, 1636. It was 382 years ago. The Massachusetts Bay Colony organized 3 militia regiments to defend the colony against the Pequot Indians. They were threatening them and making some bad noise. They said, we need to have an actual army of some kind to protect us. And so they did, and that organization is recognized today as the founding of the National Guard of the United States. Always ready, always there. The National Guard is 382 years old today. And this is the 41st anniversary of one of the great tragedies in all of sports. Air India Flight 216 crashes right after takeoff near Evansville Regional Airport, killing 29, including the University of Evansville basketball team, the support staff, some boosters, the broadcasters, the coaches. Almost the entire team perished. There was one member of the Purple Aces who did not make that flight, and that member 2 weeks later was killed by a drunk driver, leaving all the members of the 1977 Purple Aces basketball team dead. Happened on the state 41 years ago today. And much better news, let's do some birthdays for you. The legend Dick Van Dyke is 93 years old today. First burst on the national scene, of course, with the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then Bye Bye Birdie and Mary Poppins, all those movies that he made for Disney in the 60s, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Dick Van Dyke, there he is 93 years old today. Speaking of very successful actors, Christopher Plummer is 89 years old today, will always be associated with The Sound of Music, Captain Von Trapp. He said he didn't much care for the role. It wasn't a lot of stuff to dig his teeth in. He didn't even refer to it as The Sound of Music. He just called it That Movie I Made. He got over it, by the way. He is the oldest actor, Christopher Plummer, oldest actor ever to win an Academy Award. He was the Best Supporting Actor for the movie Beginners back when he was 82 years old. And last year, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor again for All the Money in the World at the age of 88. And there's Taylor Swift. Life's good for her, isn't it? She's only 29 years old, plays a pretty mean guitar, writes some pretty good songs, dabbles in acting every once in a while. She has 10 Grammys, an Emmy, 23 Billboard Music Awards, 12 Country Music Association Awards. She holds 6 Guinness World Records, and she's only 29. She's got a long way to go. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift. It is 26 minutes after the hour. Still to come, my interview with Beth Stipe, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. Also another edition of Everybody's Entitled to Mike McNally's Opinion, but it's Thursday. Akina the cat needs a home. It's Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Akina is joining us this week.
Yeah, so Akina was brought in as a stray, so we don't know her exact age. We think she's probably between 8 months to 2 years old. She is a really friendly, sweet cat. She does kind of like sometimes her alone time, but overall she's really adaptable and fun, and she's a little frisky. She was playing in her condo before she came to have her big spotlight. She's pretty friendly. I think, given the right circumstances and giving chance to adapt, that she would probably be good. I mean, we never know with cats.
Yeah.
But I think she'll probably be, good with anything. I mean, she seems pretty laid back.
Yeah, she's very sweet. And if someone wants to adopt her, what should they do?
They just need to come down to the shelter. She's ready. She's already been spayed. She's got her vaccinations, her microchips. So if you come down, you can get to know her and adopt her today.
You want to say something, Akina?
You want to say something?
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Kennel Cameos is supported in part by Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Leavenworth. Not only does the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory have great house-made fudge and super delicious candy and caramel apples, but they also have great doggy treats for your four-legged friends, located at 636 Front Street in Leavenworth. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Jeffrey Castle's Celtic Christmas Concert is this Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Chelan Performing Arts Center. This concert features the Seattle Irish Dance Company, the Jeffrey Castle Celtic Band, and Dan Connolly. Old-time radio show Mrs. Bob Cratchit's Wild Christmas Binge is this Friday night at 7:30 at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Local performers will bring this romp through Dickens' classic Christmas Carol to the stage. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
Ho, ho, ho! The Christmas season is upon us, Wenatchee Valley, and Collins is here to fulfill your gift-giving and fashion needs. Bring in your list, and we will assist you in finding the perfect gift and wrap it up for you. Tommy Bahama, popcorn treats, yummy caramels for the guys, Brighton jewelry, handbags, gifts for all the women on your list. Cashmere scarves, sweaters, cozy jammies, gowns, blankies, socks. Gift cards are always a great gift. Beautiful holiday styles for your special occasions. Awesome service at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill, I have a job.
I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey, this is Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to opinion. Now, 75% of us Americans consider ourselves Christians. Well, that's great. But our tendency as Americans, particularly those on the political right, we tend to mix our Christianity with our patriotism, and that's a big mistake. I mean, love of country is fine, but if my patriotism causes me to somehow justify something other than love your neighbor as yourself, as somehow concurrent with my faith, I've crossed the line. And that's true, particularly in this day and age. Because, of course, when Jesus identified your neighbor, he was telling you to consider it was who you deem most objectionable. God is not going to protect or bless America at the expense of any other nation. And there's absolutely no reason to believe that America has a special place in God's heart over and above anyone else. I mean, I love being American too. I don't. But doing so doesn't trump my faith. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Make a purchase from a local business and you are supporting your community and your friends. Please stop by and share some holiday cheer with these local businesses.
The Shirt Shop in Chelan. Shirts, sweatshirts, and more for the whole family. Have it customized while you wait. Located in the heart of downtown Chelan. Yoga Chelan. Move beyond the expected. Promoting the health benefits of yoga through classes, events, and adventures. Yoga for everyone with Yoga Chelan.
Happy holidays from your friends and neighbors.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And we are back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. My guest today has been the Executive Director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington for the last 15 years. If you do something for 15 years, you get to be pretty good at it. And believe it or not, she has never been on this program. That's my bad, not her bad. The deeply tanned, just back from Maui, Executive Director of the Community Foundation, Beth Stipe. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me finally.
What took so long?
Well, I don't know. You know, girl has to wait for an invitation.
I guess. I thought for sure. I don't know. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
I feel bad. I thought, do I have bad personal hygiene? Is Beth mad at me? I don't know what happened. Anyway, finally, and we got to make you a regular guest on the show.
Yeah, there's lots of fun things that happen at the Community Foundation and throughout North Central Washington that we're involved with. So we'd love to share that with you and your viewers.
Thank you. And you're busy year-round, but you're really busy this time of the year for a good reason.
Yeah, so year-end we have our Give NCW campaign. We just finished our Give Metau campaign at the end of October. And then we
also
have...
That was about $250,000 you raised there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Almost $300,000, so that was pretty impressive. And we're hoping that the Give NCW campaign will do also as well for the nonprofits that are on that catalog by the end of this year. And then we also have lots of year-end giving where people are generously doing their year-end gifts and setting up funds at the foundation and getting ready to launch scholarships. So that happens on January 1st, and usually we have about 2,000 scholarship applications that come in by March. So that's a big project that we do. And then there are all sorts of other things that are happening along the way, planning for next year and those type of things.
Well, since Beth is making her very first ever appearance on this program, Community Foundation, North Central Washington 101. Give us a basic overview of your organization, what it is that you do.
So the Community Foundation was started in 1986, and it's basically a foundation that supports charitable giving throughout North Central Washington, so Chelan, Douglas, and Okanagan counties. And we manage about $85 million in charitable assets, and those assets have come because of generous people in this community. I always love to tell people that there's no government funding in this, and you don't have to be Bill Gates. These are gifts that have come from people who have been teachers, who have owned businesses, who have been orchardists, and they just care about this place and they want to see it to be even better in the future. So they do that in a variety of different ways, but we give scholarships, we give grants to churches and nonprofit organizations. We have competitive grant making programs like our Give NCW and our Metau Valley grant cycles. We also do a Stronger Schools grant cycle, which supports K through 12 education throughout North Central Washington. So there's just all sorts of fun things that happen during the course of the year. We also have a pretty robust capacity building program where we're able to bring in really great trainers and give nonprofit executives and staff people and all of the great volunteers who sit on boards throughout this region an opportunity to learn a little bit more about how they can do better at their organizations and fulfill their missions.
Well, the fact that you started out with a little over $2 million in seed money and you're up to $85 million, that tells you you're doing just fine.
Well, you know, the stock market's been a little iffy lately, so we'll see what that number looks like by the end of the year. But, you know, we're in it for the long haul. And, you know, as Warren Buffett will tell you, that the best timeline for investing is in perpetuity. And that's what we're here to do.
Well, you mentioned the stock market. You got the money. And so how do you make that money grow so when the money is doled out to the individual organizations, that the money is there? How does that work?
Absolutely. So we have an investment committee, which is a subsection of our board. We have a 28-member board of trustees. They're all local volunteers, which is great, and they're all very highly skilled. So we're very fortunate that our board is a really strong leadership board. And so we also work with an independent consultant out of Seattle, and that's Veris Investments. And basically they come in and they help us to hire and fire managers within a very conservative portfolio of 60% equities and 40% fixed assets. So within that portfolio, we'll have between 8 and 12 different managers in different classes of investments.
So people who donate to the community foundation, the money's not going to just disappear. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, and you know, there's actually a state law called the Uniform Prudent Management of Institutional Funds Act, and that act governs basically organizations like ours that invest in endowed funds for the perpetual charitable uses that the donors have set them up for. And there are two sides of that act. The first side is, of course, the prudent investing side. So, you know, we're not going to Vegas and we're not going to go, you know, to buy some swampland in Arizona.
Beth does not drive a Jaguar.
No.
Yeah, no.
And then on the other side is the spending side. And there's a 7-factor test that we as an organization and our board of trustees goes through to determine how much money comes out of those funds on an annual basis that goes back out into the communities and for the purposes that those donors set them up to do. And at this point, it's a 5% 3-year rolling average of the balance of the fund that goes back out into the for the causes and for the organizations that the donors set it up to do.
What's the hardest part? Is it getting the money into the coffers or doling it out to the people and the organizations that need it?
You know, I think that grant making is a very challenging part of the job because there are always more needs than you have funds available for, and so having to make those selections is a really difficult task. And certainly that falls on our trustees. And when we have our competitive grant making programs, we spend a lot of time going out and visiting with organizations. We don't just make a decision based on something that comes in on a piece of paper. And I know this past cycle we had 60 applications, and of course we had to whittle those down to 25. And so our trustees went on all of those site visits. So they met with 60 organizations face to face. They put 600 miles on their cars and spent—
All volunteers.
All volunteers.
All volunteers. Yeah.
And I think that they spent, oh my gosh, it must have been 15 days, full days on the road and going out and meeting with folks. So and then they have to come back and make those tough choices, which is really hard.
I was on the United Way of Chelan and Douglas County Funds Distribution Committee. I know what they have to go through. It's not easy. You know, they ask for 15, and I said, well, we can give you 7, and that's about all. And you want to give them what they're asking for, but you simply can't do that.
No, and that's the great thing about this Give NCW platform is that it provides that crowdfunding mechanism so that we can go out into the community and say, look, we were able to do half or 3/4 of this project. Can you help us finish these guys off so that they can do what they want to do?
I have the list right here. These the 30 that you talked about.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. Now, it's very important to note, you can donate specifically to any of the individual organizations flat out, and the money goes directly to them through the conduit that is the NCW Foundation of North Central Washington, or you can just give the foundation money and then you dole it out.
True. There is an opportunity to give to all, and what happens if you give to all is that at the end of the campaign, we distribute that equally amongst all of the organizations. So it's a great way to make your gift go all the way through the catalog, if you will. And yes, you can absolutely pick and choose. We have several families that are doing this together, and they're giving their kids maybe $50 and saying, spend it on the catalog. And oftentimes we hear that the kids come back and say, well, I need another 10 or 20 because there's a couple more that I want to do. So they're learning how to be grant makers as well, which is a really fun thing. We also have Washington Elementary School where the 5th grade goes through the catalog and they select 5 or 6 of the organizations, and then they do a penny drive in the school, and they create these cute little boxes that they set up in the front of the school, and kids bring their change from home, and then at the end of their school, right before they're getting out for Christmas break, they do a big presentation and give the boxes to the organizations that were selected. And so that's a really fun project as well that happens with the Give
And they add up. Pennies will add up.
They
Everything adds
do,
up.
absolutely. And that's the other great thing is, you know, this is specifically designed for everyone to be able to give. And it's a $10 minimum contribution. All the credit card fees are paid for by generous donors at the foundation, our partners in giving, who step up and use their gift to ensure that every dollar of the Give campaign goes directly to those organizations that you choose.
Because that's what people always ask, what's your overhead?
They do,
If I give you
absolutely.
$100, how much of my $100 is going to salary and credit card fees and stationery and rent or whatever? Right?
And in this case, it's 100% that goes. Your $100 goes directly to those organizations that you choose.
Let me give you an example. Campfire of North Central Washington. We love Campfire of North Central Washington, one of my favorite organizations. They're asking for $15,000 during this season. So far, they got $5,300 raised. What happens if they get to that $15,000 goal and yet still more money comes in and they want to do it specifically to Campfire? Is that still cool?
Absolutely.
Or how does that...
It is, with the technology, it's a little difficult because once an organization is funded at their fully funded level, the mechanism won't allow you to give, but we always, if someone is fully funded, put a direct link to their website so that you can give directly to that organization. Or we have had some people call and say, I'd really like to give to this organization, they're fully funded, can I send you a check? And if they send us a check, we'll pass it directly through to that organization.
What is the importance of having your organization as the conduit? I mean, Alethea Writing Center, it's alphabetical, so they're first on my list.
Yes.
Why would you give it to you to give to Alethea where they could just give it right to Alethea? What's the importance of having the community foundation as the go-between, the middle of the hourglass? So
well, again, you know, because we have this we're doing a lot of marketing around this, so we have some really fun things that happen during the course of the Give NCW campaign to encourage people to check out the catalog, and maybe they'll see an organization that they didn't know existed. And that's also part of this, is to help the community see that there are all of these great little projects out there that maybe you didn't know existed. And we all know about Alethea,
sure,
but maybe there are some folks out there that don't know that they provide these wonderful opportunities for folks that have some physical disabilities and developmental disabilities to ride horses and to gain their strength back and their confidence, and that's a very cool thing. But so we have every Monday, if you
Fun Day Mondays,
Fun Day Mondays,
Right.
if every Monday, if you give on the catalog, your name is entered into a drawing to win $500 that you can give on the catalog. So we love Fun Day Mondays, and it's really a great thing to select someone on the Fun Day Monday and call them up, and we've had several people say, I told my girlfriend I was going to win. And then they come back on the catalog and they give their money, and sometimes they'll spread it around, and sometimes they are very dedicated to their one organization
Sure.
that they really love. So those are always fun things as well. And then we have some really wonderful business partners. So I think next week is Cafe Mela Week, and so anyone who donates during that week will be entered to win a $25 gift card from Cafe Mela. And then the following week is Firehouse Pet Week.
Okay.
And so they're going to do the same thing. So they're going to provide a gift card, and so anyone who donates during that week will be entered into a drawing to win.
Your offices are in downtown Wenatchee, but of
Correct.
course, as you mentioned before, your footprint is Chelan, Douglas, and Okanagan counties. Does Douglas and Okanagan sometimes get lost in this shuffle? I mean, you just raised close to $300,000 for the Medhow
Right.
area. Is that sometimes a misnomer because your offices are in downtown Wenatchee? Or
You know,
people
I-
don't really understand it's the Community Foundation of North Central Washington?
I think that's one of the other great things about the catalog, is it showcases some of these organizations from outside of Chelan County proper, if you will. So we also have Upper Valley, Leavenworth organizations like Upper Valley Mend, Okanagan County. This time we have the Okanagan County Community Action Council, which is doing a great project. And also we've funded lots of projects up in Okanagan County. And last year we went all the way up to Oroville. This year it was Tenasket. And so there are really great projects throughout the region. And I would say that it's a wonderful thing to expose all of our folks, because there are great needs outside of Chelan County. And we're all part of this region, and so it's a really wonderful thing to help your neighbor.
I don't want to spotlight any specific organization. I have the catalog up here, the online catalog, which, by the way, is the way to go. Some of these organizations you've known for forever. They've been around forever. They do great work. Some of these I've never actually even heard of.
Right?
before.
Isn't that great?
Is there a couple of these that you want to single out, because I'm not familiar with them? They're new to me.
There's one I think that is, and I'll have to check my notes here, but Chapter to Chapter, which is a newer organization, and what they're doing is they're taking donated books and they're making sure that they get into the hands of little kids. And so it's this great project where it's very volunteer driven. People are donating books that their children maybe aren't using any longer, and we're repurposing those and getting them in the hands of kids who may not have books, which is a really sad thing. And you know, we have this really wonderful resource of North Central Regional Library, but oftentimes there are transportation challenges for kids. And I think it's just important that a kid, you know, when they're crawling into bed at night, that they have a place that they can go and they can pull a book and they can lay in bed with their mom or dad or a brother or a sister and just kind of page through and have those opportunities. So that's one of those that we're really excited to have brought on, and I think this is the first time we've ever funded them. So.
Being a lover of books, I'm glad to see that the library is in on this as well. Because we, as you well know, the library is a community gathering place, but it's in pretty bad shape right now. It needs some help, and they're working on that, aren't they?
They are, and they are looking for some significant resources to finish off that campaign. And you know, the other thing I would say is that the North Central Regional Library, which Wenatchee Public Library is part of, has been going through a strategic planning process. And you know, they have a new executive director, Barbara Walters, and they have some really exciting things on the horizon. And I was in their facility not too long ago and walked up to the second floor, and there were giant bins of Lego robots because they have a huge STEM component that they're trying to get out into the community. And so not only are they providing books, but they're providing experiences and educational opportunities. And you know, having a new Wenatchee Public Library that's more open and accessible to more people and to a broader range of services is going to be really important to meet those goals. Well,
they say a thriving public library is a direct reflection on the community it serves, and so that's something we want to see.
Absolutely. I remember as a kid, that was one of my first jobs. Is I always said that I was the children's librarian. In essence, I put the books away. But you know, at 15, you have to like kind of go with what you're excited about.
A couple more questions. Again, we're talking to Beth Steib, the executive director of the Community Foundation of North Central Washington. All in all, is this area a pretty giving community? It's been my experience that it is. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, when you think about how many people live in North Central Washington, how long the Community Foundation has been around, and how many assets we have under management, you consider all the different nonprofits and how well they're supported. I mean, you have a YMCA that's been here for over 100 years. I just think that that is a great story to tell, that people here really are generous and giving. And you know, there's been a lot of discussion about the new tax reform acts, and that, you know, that the tax incentive for charitable giving is diminished somewhat, and people are worried that people aren't going to give. And I truly believe that people give because it's in their heart and that they want to see good things happen in their community. So we're not worried. We know that people here love their community and are generous, and
they know that their money is in good hands with your organization. So.
And you know, one of the other things that we're doing and spending a lot of time on is our Give 10 campaign, which is a campaign that we're trying to encourage everyone in North Central Washington to consider leaving 10% of your estate to your community, and whether that goes to your church or the community foundation or your favorite nonprofit, it all helps, and it all makes this place such a great place to be. And so everyone has the capacity to do that.
Well, let's close out with that. First of all, specifically, how do you give to the Community Foundation via the catalog that I have online right now, Give NCW?
Yes,
if you're specifically going to be involved in that campaign, what does one go about doing?
So you just go to givencw.org, and the catalog will pop up,
right here.
And it's super easy. It's just like shopping on Amazon. You go through and you pick your different nonprofits and put in the amount of money, and then it'll have a checkout at the end where you put in your credit card, and you're good to go. And so that's a super easy thing.
And then the foundation in general.
Yeah, so our website, cfncw.org, is a great place to learn all about the things that we do and all the different vehicles that we have available to folks to accomplish what their goals are. And then the other thing I'll mention just briefly is that we are collaborating with Pybus University in January, and we're super excited because we're going to have an estate planning will seminar in January, and you can find that information on our Facebook page as well as our website, and it's going to be fantastic. We've got some local attorneys that are going to be there. We're going to give some really good basic information, and it's free of charge. And so we think that people are going to have New Year's resolutions to get their estate plans in order, and so this is a great way to kick it off.
Well, my dad was an attorney, and that's what he specialized in, wills and probates. And you know, the deal is, you know, when you exit your earthly vessel, you want to have all of your affairs in order, and you should always have a will on file.
Yes.
It's just common sense. It really
And so
is.
many people don't.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just a
It's
procrastination
right.
because, you know,
I
who
don't
wants
want to think about it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's such a good thing to have, and it feels so good when it's done.
Do you want to do a quick shout out for your staff? I know you work with some of the best people out there.
We do, we do. So thank you for allowing us to do that. So we have a great staff of 6. We have Brandon Johnson, who is our admin support and supports also our scholarships. Julie Mott is our scholarship program coordinator. Jennifer Dolch does all of our communications and takes care of all of our donor advised fund holders. Denise Sorum is our community philanthropy director, and she is just fantastic. We call her the queen of hugs because she's the one that takes care of all of those great people that come in the door. And then Christy Harris is our CFO, and she is a CPA and sits on staff. And then we have Claire Odie, who does all of our community grant making programs as well as our Nonprofit Practices Institute.
And everybody's pretty good at this point in their career of writing grants, which is just, it could be just a slog, but it's important work.
It is, and we hope to make it easier for folks, and we've got some really fun, exciting consultants coming next year. Susan Hallett is going to come, and Erica Mills is going to come, and those are 2 really phenomenal nonprofit consultants around fundraising and development, and so we think that's going to be very helpful for our nonprofits.
Beth Stife, the deeply tanned executive director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. She went to Maui last week, but who's kidding you? She needed the vacation. It's not easy. It's good to see you, Beth.
It was nice to see you.
Please
Thank
don't
you
be
so
a
much for
stranger.
having
And I
me.
feel so, I can't
Anytime.
believe it
We'll
took
come back
so
anytime.
long to get you on this program.
It's my pleasure.
It's
Thank
my
you.
bad. I'll never let that happen again. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. We'll be right back.
Make a purchase from a local business and you are supporting your community and your friends. Please stop by and share some holiday cheer with these local businesses.
Buy Kaler Glen's holiday special today. $45 green fees with a cart. Go to KalerGlen.com, choose daily deals, and pick your offer. Walkabout Grill gift cards are perfect for teachers, friends, and stocking stuffers. They offer dining for large groups in both Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Stop by today.
Happy holidays from your friends and neighbors.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Collins Fashions has your lifestyle in mind. Casual to special occasions, head-to-toe styling, foundations to shoes, jewelry, scarves, handbags, awesome gifts too. Denim brands from Liverpool, Not Your Daughter's Jeans, French dressing, all fits and sizes. Slacks from Joseph Ribkoff, Renoir, Tribal, and Elliott Lauren. Easy care and flattering. Stylish sweaters from Icelandic, Curio, and Tribal. Great selection of cashmere sweaters and scarves too. We always have you in mind at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
Just about a minute left on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz, your host. Let's wrap up the show where we began. The weather forecast from the National Weather Service. All things considered, next couple of days, pretty quiet. Really not a lot going on. See that afternoon high of 44 degrees. That is well above normal. In fact, all of these highs across the board, all the way through Wednesday of next week as we get closer and closer to Christmas. This is a warm, weather pattern. There's an active but mild weather system that's going to pay us a visit Saturday night into Sunday. Best chance of measurable precipitation will come down in the form of rain, and that'll be overnight Saturday into Sunday. In the meantime, the mountain passes are just a mess. We don't have time to show you the cameras, but once again, chains are required both directions on Stevens and on I-90. Traction tires are advised on Blewett. And by the way, it will finally stop snowing on the major mountain passes on Friday and Friday night, so you get a little break there. My guest tomorrow, Arch Ecker, the voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.